Hey everyone. Today's topic, love isn't always showy or exciting. I want you to think real quick about what your own view of love is, because I've noticed over time there's so many different portrayals of love in mainstream media, and I believe a lot of these perspectives of love that were shown aren't quite realistic. Like, think about the average form of love that you see on movies or TV shows or in books or even nowadays in social media, since it's overtaken our lives. There are so many weird forms of love out there, like these showy kinds of love, this exciting kind of love. But if you ask me, I'm not fully convinced that any of those are what I would actually call a real, raw form of love. I don't really care for the term like real love, because what the hell is that at the end of the day, right? It's going to be different for all of us based on our own definition for love. But I want to use it in this video because what I mean in saying real love is that it's actually love. The real thing, not lust, which many people confuse for love, or some other emotion like where you're just completely attached to someone, but it's due to insecurities or other issues like that, and not actually because you're experiencing a healthy form of love. So I will use real love in this video, and that's all I mean by it, just actual love, where you truly love your partner and it's not something else going on that you're mistaking for love. But I have noticed that there are a lot of faux forms of love out there. F-A-U-X, when I say faux there. They're not real. Like you see on social media, this showy form of love where you have some rich guy doting his like trophy model wife with a bunch of luxurious materialistic things. I would argue that's not really love, because okay, some people can show their love by giving gifts. That, if you've read that book, was it The 5 Love Languages? That is a form of a love language in the book. But I would wager most of the time that you see this played out, it's not the real version of that love language. It's more someone trying to buy the affection of someone else, or buy their loyalty, if you even can buy loyalty in that way, right? I'm sure many trophy wives cheat on their husbands because they're not actually in love with them. You can't buy someone's love with a bunch of gifts and materialistic things. But we see this in the media, and I have seen a lot of regular guys who believe they have to constantly be taking out their girlfriends for dinners, and they have to constantly buy her purses and jewelry for special occasions, and it's just like, well, that's not an actual part of love. It really isn't. True love shouldn't have you constantly needing to buy or earn your partner's affection. That's not love at that point, because real love is where you truly care about the entire essence of that person, and you enjoy having them in your life so much you couldn't imagine life without them. That means you're going to stay by their side through thick and thin, no matter what happens. It doesn't mean they need to buy your affection and love all the time with a bunch of gifts. No, you're not going to care whether or not they get you gifts. Real love isn't going to diminish just because they didn't buy you a $2,000 purse for your anniversary or Christmas or whatever. That's not what it's like. Real love is the kind of thing where two people could almost be homeless together and they would still choose each other and stay together. That is like the pure form of love. And then another form of this fake love that I see, besides the showy form of love, is where you see like this exciting form of love, where the two people are always just enjoying each other's company and having so much fun, and it's a grand time, and they're constantly going on crazy experiences together, like going to Switzerland or Italy or whatever, and doing all these fun, exciting things together. And yet again, I would say that's not exactly a real form of love either. Love doesn't need to be exciting all the time. And another issue you get here is there are some people who haven't worked on themselves enough that they literally are drawn to drama. They believe if a relationship has no drama, that it's boring, and they believe that that boringness is a bad thing. I'm like losing my mind when I see this stuff, because I'm like, a boring relationship is what you want. You want there to not be any drama or things going on like that. You don't want there to be any fires in your relationship. But there are some people who have so many issues from the way they were raised or from the lack of either one or both of their parents being around that it messes them up. They feel like there has to be constant tension in order for things to be good or in order to show that their partner loves them. But that's just not true. Healthy, true love relationships are often going to be boring. They're not going to have drama because both partners have worked on themselves enough, hopefully, that they won't feel any need for drama. They won't feel a need for things to be exciting all the time, for them to constantly be going on grandiose vacations and that sort of thing. They're not going to care about that because remember what I said earlier, as long as they have their partner around them, they will be fine. That's enough for them. They don't need the world to be handed to them. They don't need to constantly be having fun and exciting experiences with their partner. That will happen over time, of course, but they don't need it constantly because healthy relationships will be a bit boring at times. And that's what you want. You want that, guys. Don't let social media trick you into believing that that's a bad thing. That is so, oh my God. I wish I could slap the face of all these content creators who put out BS like that and trick their viewers, their audience into believing that that's what love is. And it's no wonder that like all these influencers who have these amazing relationships, amazing, that's what they present to the world, right? It's no wonder that like months later or even a few years later, you'll find out that they're no longer together because it was all facade. When you see these influencers who have amazing relationships, it's usually BS, especially if they're constantly having fun, exciting times together, or if one of them's constantly buying materialistic things for the other. And yeah, that is not real love. When two people truly are in love and they have a healthy relationship, they don't feel any need to try to get external validation from the world. So that means they're not going to care about posting on social media and showing off their relationship. In fact, I've often found that you can tell when someone's in a great relationship because they won't post on social media much at all. Not even really about their own personal life, but especially not about the relationship because things are going well. Like, why do they need to go on social media to get validation from other people? Their relationship, they already know is good, and that's enough for them. They don't need to get the world telling them, oh yeah, your relationship is awesome, I wish I had it. They don't care about that. They already know that, so they don't need to hear it from other people. So when someone is constantly trying to tell you and show the world that their relationship is great and amazing and exciting and a super flashy thing, that usually tells you this person's relationship is not as great as it seems. They're trying to sell you on the idea that their relationship is amazing because it very likely isn't. So just be careful out there what kind of people you follow and the kind of content they put out, because if you follow these relationship influencers and people like that who are constantly telling you the relationship is amazing and great and that they're really in love, you just have to wonder whether or not they're being real with you or if they're just trying to get your views for money. So be careful, because the more content you consume like this, it can seriously mess up your own way, your own perspective of love. And you could end up buying into all the wrong forms of it, thinking that that's what love actually is. When in reality, love is just you liking someone so much, enjoying their company so much, you couldn't really picture life without them, and because that, you're constantly going to choose them over time through thick and thin. My parents have been together for over 40 years. Sure, it's not amazing for them. There are times where they argue and fight, but they constantly choose each other because they care about each other. That's what love really is. It's not having to be exciting and flashy and showy all the time, having to buy your partner's affection with gifts and all that crap, or fancy vacations, none of that crap. And it's also not constantly tested when other attractive people come into your life. If you have those, what do they call it? Is it like, I forget what it is, but that term where like your eyes are constantly looking at other attractive people, it's okay to find other people attractive when you're in a relationship. I mean, how the hell are you going to shut that off, right? That's a biological thing. We notice people we find attractive, but it's another thing entirely to actually try to get attention from them. That's not cool. And I know nowadays it's harder for people because that whole thing of like this notion of having endless partners because of social media and online dating. But when you really love someone, you're not going to have eyes for other people. because you're going to want that person to be in your life, by your side, no matter what. So there you go. I'm going to step off my soapbox. You can tell I'm really passionate about this. It's just so unfortunate to see so many views or perspectives of just this unhealthy love. I wouldn't even call it love. It's just BS that people are selling for whatever reason. I don't exactly know, but I just want to make sure that the people who follow me, you're aware of this, and that you just have a more realistic view of love, a healthier view of love. Because if you believe that a boring relationship is a bad relationship, I don't even know if I could help you. So there you go. I don't really want to end the video on a bad note, but I mean, it's the truth. So just make sure you buy into real, healthy love and relationships, and go out there and try to create one, and keep working on yourself so you can create one. But that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to step off my soapbox here. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up on it as well. That's the easiest way you can help me out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci.